Okay, today on Facts at 5, live music at the Stephen Talkhouse. The legendary music venue has been in operation for over 45 years, and their doors have opened this week to some live music. How's that going to work in our new socially distant world? Here to tell us is the night manager and promoter, Nick Kraus. Nick and his daughter, Veronica, who knows probably even more about the Talkhouse. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. How are you doing, Veronica? Good? Okay, you'll just get some nods from her.
Well, it's good to see you again. I did something, the in-depth interview with you and about the Talkhouse over a year and a half ago, Nick, and we love it. Obviously, the greatest legends in rock and roll, folk, music, bluegrass, from, oh my God, Bon Jovi to Paul McCartney to The Who. I mean, it goes on and on. And so this must have been and still is a tough time for you guys. Tell us basically what's happened since the pandemic, and then you'll tell us what's happening this week, because I know we're airing this Friday. So last night you guys opened. Tell me what's going on at the Talkhouse.
Okay, well, we closed before we were supposed to close, just because we saw the writing on the wall as far as what was happening in New York particularly. We thought that was going to be for hopefully a short period of time initially. That was back in early March. And we ended up, well, we're still not back to regular business, but about a month ago, we opened up just for outdoor service for drinks and food. And we've been trying to find out a way to open up for live music again and do that safely. And so starting tomorrow night with G. Smith and Joseph Arthur, we'll be doing our first show with the two of them playing inside. And then we're going to have video screens outside that will allow people to watch and listen in an outdoor environment and safely. So
it's pretty close, right? What you would say, you know, you're not
right.
exactly in the room. Like I'm in the room. I took this picture at the Talkhouse over a year ago. So I feel like I'm
right.
in the room, sort of, but I'm still not really in the room. But it's closer than watching it like on a Zoom at home. Is that right?
Right. So part of it is when you go to a concert, you know, listen, you could always just buy the album and listen to the album at home. But the live music experience is obviously seeing the band and hearing them. You'll be able to hear them just the same as you would before. I won't say it'll be the same experience as watching them, you know, 10 feet away from you in person, but you'll be surrounded by other people that maybe you know that are fans of the band as well. And so it's a shared experience. It's like, you know, watching a movie at home as opposed to in a theater.
Right. So this is airing Friday. So tonight it's going to be the Nancy Atlas Project, right? Which is obviously, you know, Nancy and her band, so popular. How many people can you accommodate?
So we're going to be doing about 70 people altogether. We've got the ability to do more, but we're, you know, really treating this very seriously as far as safety precautions and spacing everybody out appropriately. And, you know, and that's going to be the compromise for now until things get better, till this goes away or there's a vaccine. You know, we're not here to mess around. It's not worth it. And we feel it's important to be open as much as we can be, but obviously safely.
How is it going with your staff? Now, would you guys basically have been closed for months, or how are you handling that? Did you apply for the PP? You know, I don't know. How are you staying afloat? You know?
Well, barely. You know, this business model doesn't make a ton of sense. We're happy to be open because it'll hopefully generate some income for the bands that will be playing, the acts that will be playing. We're able to get some shifts for some staff. But as a business model, no, this actually doesn't make much sense at all. And yeah, so 2020 is a write-off in that respect. And listen, you know, we're fortunate enough to have been here a long time and to own the building. But you know, they're saying, you know, that 90% of if not more of nightclubs and live music venues, you know, rent, and landlords aren't getting breaks from the government, so they still have to pay taxes, so they can't really forgive that much rent, if any. And you know, everybody's in a very tough spot. And the same thing for the fitness industry with gyms. Yeah. We're going to be the last ones to open on both accounts. And, you know, I don't know what the answer is, because there are going to be a lot of places that, you know, will go out of business or come back, you know, with different people running them, because it's not something that can be sustainable, like where you just can't do any business. So
yeah, and especially at any kind of bar where you're up and close and personal, hanging with your friends, or the beauty, in a way, obviously, of the Talkhouse is you get to see all these great musicians up close, right? And now we're always talking about keep your distance. It's gonna be a hard one, but I feel positive about it. But it sounds like it's gonna take time, right?
Yeah, I was trying to be more optimistic because things were looking better in New York, and unfortunately, the behavior of and I won't get too negative here, but certain states and certain people rushing to reopen. You jump the gun on something like this, and
Yeah,
the setbacks are dramatic. And some of the behavior of other bars in New York, Montauk, and some other concerts that were happening
I know.
are really
I saw, and
are
even
big setbacks.
the recent fiasco in Watermill with the drive-in, this week was, there were some things that were not cool socially distant wise, and those things tend to, I think, one step forward, 10 steps back. It's like that's not good.
Oh, absolutely. We would have
Yeah,
been planning. We were planning one of our own to do in East Hampton, and that immediately, like, nobody wants to touch that now, and nor do we. I mean, even if people have the best of intentions, you have to be aware of optics, and so even if 50 people end up in front of something with no cars around them at a drive-in, well, then it's no longer a drive-in. I
right,
wish that had been done differently. We had been planning to do our version in a different fashion that would have had more security, more technology involved, more spacing,
right.
less people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, different demographic, older crowd type of thing, families. But
Hmm.
anyway, so that's unfortunate because it really sets everybody back. It stops the ability to do other fundraisers and to show other people a really nice time. And those opportunities are so limited now anyway, that to have a setback like this was extremely disappointing. But
Yeah,
that's what we're doing at Talkhouse. We're opening up slowly. We actually are allowed to have music inside and with an audience, and we decided not to. So at the end of the day, we sleep at night. We're doing the right thing, and we
yeah.
look forward to having people come back and see us at distance.
I saw that on the website. That I didn't even realize that you were allowed to have people in there. What is the rule? Is because what is your full capacity normally under normal
Uh,
times?
well, I mean, there's 3 different rooms, and so some of those things depend. But right now, we do have the ability to have about 65 people inside for a show.
Okay.
Is the last we heard. Now these things are constantly changing, also. So it's that's why a lot of the national tours were canceled, just because state to state things are changing, and then they have to because
Yeah.
everything everything's changing every day. So.
Yeah.
So nobody could plan a national tour. We're lucky enough that we have a lot of great local talent and a lot of sort of transplant talent of people that have summer homes out here. So, if everybody was stuck here, we'd still have a great roster of musicians. But
Yeah.
again, it's hard to plan anything in advance with things changing the way they are.
Yeah. Have you and the Talk House? I know a lot of local musicians embraced all of this virtual Zooming in terms of musically. I know it's not the greatest thing, but is it the next best thing? Have you seen a lot of that? Have you guys been doing that?
Right. So we did some things. We did it with Nancy Atlas and Cliff Black, and we got a nice response from that, and we figured out how to do it well. Matt Hinder, my partner with USA Warrior Stories, put this together with our sound engineers, Mike Mezzarocco and co. And they did a great job. 3 cameras, and it was a great
Nice.
experience. Again, you got to try and find a way to, eventually to monetize that. We did it for free, but it still costs us money to do it. And so if that's the future, when things get cold after middle of October, we'll look again about that option, and other outlets, and maybe working with LTV on doing some things. But it's we weren't set up originally to do that, and that's not it's going to the Talkhouse. There's a lot of the experience and the people that are around you. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, people want their music fix. So I know there's a lot of rabid fans out there too, whether it's, for Nancy, or I know you got Nancy Atlas and Into Eaton, who are 2 local
sure.
favorites, and you've got all kinds of bands that normally would come in and out of the Talkhouse all summer. So it's got to be rough. Let me ask you something. I know you also have your say pet project, but you did an amazing job with Soldier Ride. How has that been affected with this, and where are
Well,
you
they're
with
doing
that?
a virtual Soldier Ride right now, so people can go to Soldier Ride, Wounded Warrior Project, I think / Soldier Ride Hamptons, and they can sign up to do that ride on their own. But again, that's we didn't get the Warriors to come out this year. Usually we have over 50 Warriors for the last 16, 17 years that would come out and be part of that, and be shown the hospitality and the appreciation of our community, which is just always a very meaningful thing to be part of, and to not see that part of it happen this year. I mean, that's the program part of Soldier Ride. The ride, the community ride, is the fundraising part. So they're still doing that, and people can still sign up for that. But it's another sure, it's nice to go out and raise money on ride your bike, but it's always nice to do that with other people that are like-minded.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, it's, a lot of the programs that Wounded Warrior Project do involve travel and, and groups. And so a lot of that stuff's on hold, but Wounded Warrior Project has started a lot of other initiatives to do things remotely. And the same thing we've done with USA Warrior Stories, where we used to interview people in person. Now we're doing what we're doing right now and doing them over Zoom. And, part of that initiative also was to teach people how to record their own videos. So now they don't really have much of a choice because you can't go to their house. So,
Yeah.
You regroup and you figure out ways to make things work as best you can, and hopefully things will get back to normal.
Tell me about your, it's challenging. Tell me about your GoFundMe page for the Talkhouse. Tell me, I saw something about that.
Right. So the GoFundMe page is to help support our staff. We're doing everything that we can in terms of giving them shifts. We did get the PP loan, which helps, to a degree, but, it's not what people would have made, and nor will that happen. But, the GoFundMe page definitely helps us support our staff. And listen, we were always ready for a hurricane or a slow summer or if it rained for a Saturday night kind of thing, but nobody was ready for this. And, and you're seeing places, barely hanging on. So, but we're going to hang in there. So we'll be all right. But it's tough.
What do you hope for? I mean, I know those are wishes, but seriously, what's your best case scenario, worst case and best?
Oh, I mean, really just hoping for a vaccine, and really hoping that people will just comply with the distancing and trying to, make wise decisions, and the fact that people are politicizing this on any side of this, as far as wearing a mask or not wearing a mask, to me, it seems simple. You know what? If there's a good chance, and it seems that way, that wearing a mask helps, or not going to a party with 50 people inside, in a living room, skip it.
Yeah.
Because the sooner that we all lock ourselves down and get this thing out of the way, the sooner we'll be back to normal, and businesses will be able to reopen, and we'll get back to a routine. And, we're sort of doing that out here, for the most part. And I guess if I was 20 something now, maybe that would be harder for me to do than it is to stay home now. But
you got a kid, when you have a kid and you got responsibilities and you get a little older, I know. But you think differently. But yes, I agree. And well, we hope for the best, obviously, for the Talkhouse and everybody in the East End. And you have such an amazing place there, and we want to have stuff to promote and to keep talking about and to have that live experience. So applaud you for hanging in. Thank you. And we'll send people to your website at the end credit. Yeah. And good luck with everything. Yeah, I think we're doing the best we can, right?
Well, my team came in second place in trivia last night at Talkhouse. So we do trivia every Tuesday, and so I got that. My prize, I'm not sure I'm going to find out what that was. But,
all right. Okay, Veronica, be well. She's so cute.
Say bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Thank you, Stephen Talkhouse. Nick Kraus, thank you again. All right, take care.
Great. Thanks so much.